You're radical, so the cores continue to burrow into the fucking earth. China syndrome, Delmar syndrome, and nobody gives a fuck. The greatest ecological catastrophe. So the steelhead salmon numbers on the Columbia right now are an absolute catastrophe. We're halfway through, and scientists are still fucking 90% of all Pacific Ocean, well, more than that. Scientists are still perplexed. They're curious. They're baffled. They're still... I mean, you think about this, honestly. They're bewildered. They're alarmed. They're stumped. They're mystified. How's that even fucking possible? I mean, just the greatest ecological catastrophe, and they're going to stick to that narrative. These cores burrow in. It's the most obvious. It's as obvious as the scars across my face. So I want to say this so people understand. I changed styles on my YouTube site, my activism long ago. The panty painter, nice, cordial conversations are dangerous, passionate, intelligent arguments get results. That's Kevin Blanch. These, I gave up on the masses. I mean, I got rid of a lot of viewers on purpose, intentionally. Because contemporaryism sheep are a waste of fucking time. I'm very tactical. I'm the tactical activist. So every single video I shoot, every single video has a purpose. And it has a tactical person I'm targeting. So what I do, I take the link. I have so many different people's emails, including senators, governors, freaking politicians, different people. And I go click and I send it to them. And they watch them. So, because we've got no shot contemporize culture, media. So there's some new Epstein stuff out, and it talks about this Swedish girl they drugged, Epstein and her. And so what did they do? She was all out of it. They didn't know where to take her. So they take her to Deb's house. Now, Epstein, when he was young, he dated the Swedish model. Deb's the hedge fund billionaire is married to her. Uncle Jeffrey's coming over to read the girls. They have young daughters. Read bedtime stories. Now stay with me as far as the artist Blanch goes. And this is intended. I have a connection with one of the curators at the MoMA. This is for you. You know I protested there so many fucking times. I'm so glad you didn't let me in. Can you imagine if you got into the MoMA over the last 30, 40 years? Leon Black MoMA? The Debs fucking MoMA? Yeah, they're the gatekeepers. Now think about this. Pedophiles. Full-blown out pedophiles. This is your New York City art scene. Whitney's no better. Laura's Noyes, the fucking person who killed fucking Aaron Swartz. Yeah. Fucking, and she wins her Oscar, stands up there with Lindsay Mills having Putin's baby. So this video's for her. This is the greatest activist artist that probably ever was since Michelangelo anyway. Kevin Blanch. We go Grant Wood. He got leukemia the same age I did. He was 51. The great American artist. American toxic, American gothic. Fuck, he was good. Those fucking spoofs he did on George Washington. I got so much respect this year. I went to the Whitney a couple years ago, and they had a Grant Wood. And I didn't even go there for the Grant Wood. I went there for the Art of the Protest, the unfinished protest. You can't make it up. So you go in there on the wall of the Art of the Protest, and here's Kevin Blanch going to the thing, and there are marches that Kevin Blanch invented and started. There's actually a footage being played on the wall, and there I am, leading a march. My daughters, oh my God. Yeah. The Million Mass March, even before that, which was Occupy, which is the Post-Ignorance Project. My marches I used to lead in Washington Square in 2006, 7, 8, 9, leading up the Shirtwaist Fire. I'm like, the incomplete history, they called it. I took a picture. So perfect. Fuck. I'm protesting in front of the MoMA. And I'll never forget it. Me and Dennis Oppenheim's son, Eric. We got kicked out of the Unnatural History Museum. I had him, Finnegan, those guys stand there like they were stuffed. I walked all through the museum. There was an empty stage, and they went up there. By the way, Eric, he said he used to do work for his dad. When we did that, walking in front of just waiting on a lady, I'm just waiting on a friend, the physical graffiti building, we did that. Boy, I met Eric that day. I knew who he was. He does it so perfectly. So, I'm getting ready to protest at the moment. Huge black security guard out front. I come up, I got my stuff. We're doing those dresses, my dresses that I designed in Vienna. I used to hang them. Fuck, that's some high art, man. I should break them out. And where I put my dress, oh, they're so fucking good. So, he says, Kevin Blanch, I'm supposed to kick you out of here. He says, first off, I'm going to go on coffee break. So if anybody comes out, just tell them I'm just kind of be late. Second, thank you for all your work. He says, I got to tell you, I was on the USS Reagan. I watched so many of your videos. I was on the Reagan. They nuked us. Thank you for all your work. And he walked off. We did our thing. Here come the big fucking muck-mucks from inside. Out of here, I mean, they're fucking getting vicious further, you know. Eric's telling them to fuck off. I'm telling them to fuck off. I'm like, oh, you own fucking the sidewalks. I know the rules in New York City. I've protested here for years and years and years. As long as we're keep moving, you know, if we're impeding foot traffic, you know, we got a problem. But as long as we're moving back and forth and we're fine. No. I said, oh, you own the sidewalks in New York City? Yes. Fuck you. You don't know shit. Here come the cops. And the cops were bowing to the moment security. I'm like, seriously? Seriously, you're bowing to these fucking creeps? Debs. So the Epstein fucking... So the judge ruled that you know, this lawsuit... And you know what else is going on? The 9/11 lawsuit suing the Saudis, which Trump blocked all that. Remember, Trump was going to go after... I went to rallies where Trump would go after the Saudis, and then when he got elected president, he got right in bed with the Saudis. That lawsuit's fucking going. There's new fucking info out on that. You know, the Saudis did that. You know, I was a derivative arbitrage specialist in New York. I fucking hedged portfolios. I'm one of the first guys in the world that identified they'd bought puts on the airline stock. So... why Epstein we were protesting Epstein in the fucking 90s in New York. Everybody knew. Fucking Vanity Fair is who covered for them. Vanity Fair is the criminals of the criminals. Just like we all knew about Madoff. They all fucking covered for him. New York media. The fucking museums. Grant Wood. Jackson Pollock. When Jackson Pollock finally got in, remember when I did my work there in 8th Street down in Lower Manhattan? There by the Shirtwaist Fire and all that work I did at the Shirtwaist Fire. And I'd line up my skins. I should get those out. And line them up right there where Motherwell and Pollock would sit, drunk. In a snowstorm in 2010, it's right there on my YouTube. I found, because I'd gone to a show in the original Pollock Lower 8th Street studio. It was the original studios. Nobody knew that. And it got disclosed. So I went out in a snowstorm looking for it, finding it. You know, it was new information. I had a friend who was working at the MoMA at the time. He was an apprentice art student at, I think at Betty Parsons School. I found it. So the Shirtwaist Fire, we're over there, and Tom Blewett's there. That's when I met Eric Oppenheim. We went and did that at... By the way, Luann Brimhall, who's Mick Jagger's girlfriend, and Mick Jagger, I always liked that because Mick Jagger did that song in the physical graffiti building. The video that, I'm not waiting on a lady, I'm just waiting on a friend, which is a masterpiece, is in that building. And so Luann, his girlfriend, grew up right down the road here. We were friends. Fuck, she had legs this fucking tall. She hung herself with an orange fucking scarf. She was adopted, by the way. She didn't want to be no Walmart designer. So, Tom Blewett, who I really didn't know much then, I met all these activists, showed up to my event that day, went over to the Shirtwaist Fire. We had an event. I said, let's go over to the Physical Graffiti and just do a piece. You know, Judy, a bunch of different artists who used to hang with me that all quit me. I ain't gonna quit you. I ain't gonna quit you. Let's go get something to eat. Tom Blewett says, I know this really good Mexican, little grill. We walk over there. He leads us. I says, this is it. He says, what do you mean this is it? We're sitting there. I says, this is Jackson Pollock's fucking and Mother Wells' original studio. They were drunk sitting there. And the reason I know this because I read a lot of PhDs. Aaron Swartz. That's where I met Aaron Swartz. They captured all the PhDs. So, but once in a while you can find them. People, out of the goodness of their heart, put them online. I read gods of them. And I found once this young NYU fucking master's student had done, or one of the schools there, on Pollock. And abstract impressionism, expressionism. Oh, I can get in a whole good thing on that. Go ya. So, Picasso. No. Fucking Life Excavated. De Kooning. What's that big tall Armenian? He's the guy. So, we're sitting right there, and remember those guys came by and they said, God, they look like the tower. And then the towers, and those are such masterpiece videos. So, Mrs. Whitney and I believe Betty Parsons were walking by, and they were drunk fighting. She bought 2 of those paintings off Jackson for $10 a piece. Really, Betty Parsons puts him in his front of her studio for 18 months, never sold a fucking painting. He said Arnold Blanch, Depressionary fucking painter, Thomas Hart Benton, who stood right there, Thomas Hart Benton's father, stood right there, the famous senator. I envisioned someday on May 10th, 1869, the trains meet right there at Promontory. A statue of Christopher Columbus on the highest Rocky Mountain peak. He's pointing right there at the mighty Mount Ogden. Somebody says, well, you're back to doing just like your classroom. I never left. So he couldn't sell a painting. He was a Depressionary artist. He was doing, Arnold Blanch, Thomas Hart Benton. He couldn't take it anymore. He snapped. Went over to Roscoe and learned how to drip on 10th Avenue in Chelsea, right there where Mark Twain was doing his rants. Devoto, 44 on Balco. Went on and learned to drip. Roscoe, the original dripper? Nope, that'd be Max Ernst. Peggy Guggenheim exiled him when she was married to him, like her 186th, I think, to Utah. He used to punch a hole in a paint can and he would swing it over top of his canvas. The master of them all, Max Ernst. Couldn't sell a painting. Finally, the New York City art critic gives him a look. One line made the great Jackson Pollock. Where's your soup can? The dripper, Kevin Blanch, the flipper. He said, I don't like his art. There's no beginning and there's no end. That's the line that made him. Just like Warhol. When the critic finally went into Warhol, these soup cans suck. Why you got drips going down your soup cans? Oh, you got a drip. I don't like it. Andy looks at him and says, I don't either. The critic, this is his second go at Andy. Andy was a great self-promoter, but he could get nowhere. The next day in the New York Art Critic, Prince one line from Andy Warhol. Warhol says, well, it's not the painting of the soup can. The critic came up with this line. Or Andy, it's debatable. I think it was the critic. It's not the painting of the soup can, it's the idea to paint the fucking soup can. Remember my line all those years? It's not the painting of the soup can, it's the idea to paint the soup can, but then you have to paint the fucking soup can. That was my line in New York for years. Take on the nuclear industry, it'll destroy your art career, destroy your fucking finance career. What do I mean? They're a byproduct. I've been fighting the nuclear industry since fucking birth. Thank God. I'm going to send this to her. Thank God you guys never let me in. Thank God I never got in. Pedophile gatekeepers. Sickening motherfuckers. Fucking. It's the environment. It's the ecology, stupid. So much fucking great work in those days, artistically. It's where the fucking Occupy came from. We started that fucking there, and then it evolved into Million Mass March. Completely stolen, hijacked by Black Lives Matters. Lifetime of this. A lifetime of this. Fighting the nuclear energy crime syndicate. I'll be back at it. I'm going to get to New York soon. After I get back from Monterey. Tide pool fucking jumping. Ogden's a fucked up town, I can tell you that. This place is fucked up. I mean, whoa. So, there's new information on Epstein. Why Epstein? Zorro Ranch is at Los Alamos for a reason. He had the Moss, the Saudi passport, the imperialists, for a reason. The nuclear energy crime syndicate, they're the death fucking killers. They're happy this is going on. Fukushima, they're joyful because they want to kill all of us. They want to kill every living thing, and the museums went along with them. Elsa Plots, remember when I used to do all that? The soup cans for Andy Warhol. It was written, well, Andy Warhol's nothing but Marcel Duchamp's bastard fucking son. Kevin Blanch, Jackson Pollock's bastard son. He was born right there, Cody, Wyoming. Where'd you get the idea to paint the soup cans, Andy? This curator said it was her idea. This curator said it was. The soup can metaphor had been going for long. He never did tell the truth. Remember, he'd say, well, why are you doing all these videos? You know, Eric's dad, I talked to him about it, and he says, my dad was experimenting, Dennis Oppenheim, with the camera, Kevin. I was his model. We had a conversation right in front of Yoko Ono's fucking house, right there where John Lennon was killed. Yoko was supposed to meet us that day. Why are you doing all these videos? Have a lot easier than painting. Elsa Plotz used to wear a tomato soup can fucking bra, fucking with her shaved head in New York. The original Dada, New York, Zurich, Paris to the moon. Oh yeah. I thought you had to be poor to be Dada. I thought you had to use whatever the fuck you had. This is pure Dada. Kevin Blanch, pure Dada. The Dada Environmentalist. Yoko Ono, the billionaires, hijacked the whole movement, worth hundreds of millions, heir to the Chrysanthemum Empire. She's Dada. Flock shoe. So, Elsa Plosh used to wear a fucking tomato soup can bra, and she used to have a sign she'd walk around. She used to call Marcel Duchamp. Marcel Duchamp, nude descending down staircase. I think it's painted on cardboard. It's big. It's a fucking grand piece. Incredible. His early works are incredible. Dead purple fucking nude found in elevator. Fucking de Kooning. Gorky. Marcel Duchamp, the greatest interview of them all. Andy Warhol and Merv Griffin with Edie Sidderwick. Well, Andy don't talk. I do the talking for him. Marcel Duchamp's to that beautiful. Here's the problem. I've said it for years in the art scene. All the artists are there. Kevin Blanch, the fucking artist. It's the critic. It's the critic. They're in bed with the fucking oligarch gatekeepers. the beautiful, intelligent, dynamic. In that interview with Marcel Duchamp, it's that critic. She's a genius. Marcel Duchamp. Well, your ready-mades are genius. They're so in vogue and so, this is in the 60s. Well, I don't know why you care now. I don't know why you give a fuck now. I've been sitting in the park playing fucking chess for 35 fucking years. You won't even talk to me. Why do you give a fuck now? I said it clear back then. That's the way this is going to play out. Kevin Blanch, years, I'll be an old man. They're going to come to me and your fucking art, your activism, your videos. There's a famous DJ in Fort Greene that used to beam my videos in the old Masonic Temple in Brooklyn in 2011, 12, 13, in the nightclub, on the walls. Everything's fucking to the margins now. COVID changed it all, didn't it? The gatekeepers. It's going to be that. Why do you give a fuck now? Huh. Mars. Elsa Plath invented the fucking soup can. The dripping was Max Ernst. The soup can flipper. The activist artist, it's always the artist. It's always been the fucking artist. Michelangelo lived in fear for fucking almost all. Let death come to me. I cannot do this anymore. Holy Moses, he was 88. What? He lived in total fear. I got to go in the fucking bunker underneath the church where he hid. Fucking painted on the walls. They wanted him dead for fucking... People hated him. Just the greatest fucking activist artist who ever lived. Avant-garde.